All right. Here we are. God, this is a bit different because, I normally stream over on Twitch. So this is going to be kind of fun. Unfortunately, I think my overlay is set up to read just Twitch chat. So I'm going to ignore that for the time being because I can see the chat coming in elsewhere. Now, I will tell you this. There's about a 20-second delay between what I'm saying or showing and then what shows up in the YouTube studio to be streamed. So that's a little bit weird because I normally stream with like a 4 to 6 second delay. So this is something I just got to get used to while I'm using YouTube. Question, is the music too loud or can you hear anything? Because again, I have stuff set up normally for Twitch, so I need to get my settings right for YouTube. So y'all get to help me out with this. Want to make sure y'all can hear everything appropriately. Because things sound loud to me in my ear, but it may just sound god-awful to y'all. And I don't want that to happen. I want it to be a positive experience for everybody. The other thing I want to start doing too is once or twice a week, I want to start coming on and doing afternoon YouTube streams. Just because. Just to share like fun things, talk about stuff going on with Magic, metagame news, whatever. Or like today, we're going to be doing a box opening, which is pretty sweet. So I'm pretty excited about that. Because that's also something we don't get to do that often, right? Let me up my volume here a little bit. Not sure why that came down. Fun things. Okay, cool. It's perfect. Y'all say, okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, so let me just give some of you a preview here because probably just right. Perfect. I don't want it to overpower anything. So the first thing is some of you don't get to see me on stream over on Twitch. Y'all just get to watch my YouTube videos here on YouTube, right? So I kind of want to at least take the opportunity to let y'all know kind of more about me. I don't know how many of y'all have read the bio section on my YouTube channel. A bunch of people don't read that. But I've been actually doing game industry stuff pretty much my whole adult life. And that's not even an exaggeration. From the time I had just turned 21, I started running. Well, actually, even before then, I was working for a guy that owned a retail game store. And then I eventually became owner of a retail game store just after my 21st birthday. And I did that for 16 years. During that time, I got to be a tournament organizer, a writer. I ran a couple of conventions. I helped design a card game. I've worked on just a ton of different projects. So it's been a whole lot of fun. Yeah, we're not getting rid of the Twitch stream. This is something I just want to add kind of to my selection of things. Because the reality is like people engage with each social media platform differently, right? So some people are only gonna use YouTube because it's what's convenient. Some people have time at home and they want to watch a full live stream. So that's the thing. Don't Twitch and YouTube have exclusivity contracts? I didn't think they let you. Here's the thing. Technically, they don't unless you are partner level or higher with them. And my thing is this. Like, I'm just below the level to become partner with Twitch. And I am going to seriously measure that when the time comes. I'm probably still about 2 months away from my numbers, like, meeting the requirement. But I'll probably take some time to decide if I even want to be exclusive. And honestly, I'm probably going to see if I can negotiate with them because I'm a believer that I could even do pre-streams on YouTube of say like, hey, let's put a deck together, whatever. And then, at the end of that 45 minutes or an hour, be like, hey, now I'm going to go play it over on Twitch if you want to come watch, right? So I could actually benefit both parties by offering something different to both sides. Oh, I'm definitely over 40. I'm over 40. So definitely not being over 35. Yeah, absolutely. I am over 40. So yeah, so to continue the story from earlier, right? So I got to do all this stuff in the game industry, right? And then I sold my store, went to work for Wizards for a couple years. Then I went to work for Card Kingdom for a couple years. And now I'm doing content creation practically full time. And this is a whole new world for me. It's been pretty fun. I started really diving heavy into it back last October when we kicked off our podcast, which, by the way, our podcast is just over 1 year old now. So that's awesome. And now I'm just trying new things, doing something different. I have some, we'll call them agreements in the works with a couple of big partners, sponsors. So hopefully I'll get to announce some news on that here in about a week or so. Just started a new web show I get to work on with Brian David Marshall and Monty Devuti called Supreme Verdict. So we record that every Tuesday to go live on Wednesdays. So a lot of good things happening, a lot of fun stuff. So if y'all like following me and my content, it's going to be a lot of opportunities for sure. What's it like to work for Card Kingdom? Honestly, I will say this. My exit from Card Kingdom was abrupt and not the best, but it wasn't hateful. It was just, business decision kind of thing. But I still talk to and associate with people that I worked with and worked for me in my department. Like, I had no problems with it personally. I know some other people have had issues here or there, but they've been good to me. I've been very lucky. Do you like D&D or other RPGs? I have a game I play almost weekly right now through Discord for D&D, and my significant other runs a D&D game for all women, and they play every week. They alternate Thursdays and Saturdays, so D&D does get played in my household. Hey, welcome from Greece. That is awesome. Thank you. Like, this is the other fun part, right? Because depending on where you're at or what country you're at or what phones or mobile devices you use, some people are more convenient to using YouTube, and some people are more convenient to using Twitch. So I do want to add this in regularly to have an offering. And then I'll change the visual on the screen. Like I said, I didn't think about it before I started. This is set up for Twitch, but I'm going to have my friend build a custom one just for YouTube. I think it'd be fun. By the way, if you haven't checked them out, I do have a sponsor, cardsphere.com. They are super awesome. They make great content. They just started putting up, I just started going heavier into articles and stuff, but they sponsor a lot of up and coming streamers to help us get our name out there, and content creators in general. They're a good site if you ever just want to sell cards you have sitting around, but you don't want to mess around with eBay and you want to sell them for what you want to sell them for. You can totally go in and do that, and it's super easy. And you can use PayPal, which is awesome. So what did I do at Wizards? I was on their trade marketing team. Basically, I was on the team that dealt with anything that touched the retailers for the most part. So I can say while I was there, the improvements that retailers got on software for tournament stuff, I was involved directly with that. The fact that y'all get to buy boosters at pre-release on pre-release weekend, that was something I got to be a part of and help institute. The fact that you don't get crappy F&M promos anymore, that was something I got to help institute. So like a lot of stuff I did while I was there still exists today and will probably carry over for a long time. So I'm pretty happy about that. Prefer YouTube. Greetings from Prague. Oh, that's awesome. It's always cool to see where everybody comes from. So this is just something fun. I'm going to get the box opening started here in a couple of minutes. I'm just using this kind of opening time for people to get a chance to just ask questions, find out about me, because I've been doing Twitch streaming for almost a year now, and people over on Twitch are familiar with me, but a lot of y'all don't really know much about me other than a few facts that have been picked up in the videos here on YouTube, or really that's it. I mean, other than what you see me as far as what I play deck-wise. So feel free to ask whatever questions you want. This is a good kind of opening time for that. Making sure it looks like I'm caught up on everything. Yeah, a lot of people tell me I haven't aged much, by the way. A lot of people don't know how old I am. It's funny because I had somebody share some high school pictures not long ago, and they're claiming I'm a vampire. Which honestly, and I'll say this, like, this is the longest my hair has been in 20 years. No exaggeration. And if my hair is cut short, I look even younger than I do now. Like, true story. Like, I have a lot of people that assume I'm like 25 to 30. Great deeds for the MTG community. Thanks for... Yeah, no problem, Jacob. Or Jacob. I don't know how the proper pronunciation is there for you. But yeah, I've been involved in a lot of things, even when I was at Card Kingdom. Like, I helped revise their whole system for getting cards out more efficiently and getting stuff sorted on release day so they can turn stuff over faster now, right? That's kind of one of my specialties. That's what I've done practically my entire life. Greetings from New Jersey. Do I play any Modern, and do I have any favorite decks? Technically, I play Modern, but the truth is I haven't played much of it, even before the pandemic. I really just carry a Jund deck and play periodically, but I haven't registered for a Modern tournament in quite a while. Same thing with Legacy. I keep a Maverick deck around, but I haven't played it in, like, I've played with people, but I haven't played in an official tournament in a long time. What do I think about a Song of Creation deck? I don't know. I remember when Song of Creation came out, we all tried building different versions. I think I tried building 2 different versions and didn't do a whole lot with it. It kind of suffered quite a bit. So, it's one of those things that I think it's a powerful card. I think it can do some very good things, but I don't know. It's hard to figure out where that card fits. I feel like once somebody figures out a good deck for it, it's going to be really awesome. But it's just hard to get consistency, I think, in that build, which is one of the biggest problems. But yeah, I think it's a fine card. I just haven't been able to make it work. I've seen some people trying to make it work with like Teferi's tutelage and stuff and try to mill people faster and put it with like Nahiri's lithoforming and with the crab and trying to make that a whole deck. And it sort of seems like there's a little bit of something there. I don't know what, but it feels like those are the beginning pieces to making it work. But I haven't really messed around with it, to be honest with you. Generally, if I were to say, like, as you can see from my channel, I prefer aggro decks. I prefer Gruul decks if I get a choice. But I like showing off different things just so y'all get exposed to different stuff, right? Get to see how different decks perform in the metagame. And one of the things I want to address here, because it's come up a few times in the comments that people ask, why don't I play more best of 3? There's really 2 reasons. The first is I want, especially when it's a new build of a deck or a whole new deck, or a lot of people are seeing the deck for the first time, I want to give y'all a chance to see the deck played against a variety of decks, right? So if I play 6 or 7 matches, you'll get to see hopefully at least 4 or 5 different decks. If I do best of 3, even on an hour-long video, you might get to see me play against 2 decks, and that's not nearly as informative. You know, so that's like my biggest issue. The other is that if I do a longer video, all my YouTube metrics show that people don't necessarily watch any more of the video. So people aren't going to watch more than like 30-ish% of a lot of the videos average. So I put in a lot of time to playing, editing, you know, trying to delete stuff so I'm only showing the right matches. So you're not seeing me play against, say, like in the current meta, maybe like a mill deck 2 or 3 times in a row if you're only going to get to see 2 matches. And that work ends up not resulting in anything. Whereas otherwise, I can just show 6 or 7 matches in a row and you get to see just a variety of different things. So I know some people want to see more. Like today, I put one up best of 3, and I can tell you it's getting fewer views than my normal best of 1s do. You know, and I don't know, maybe it's a deck choice or whatever, but it also only gets to show 2 games, right? I won match or 2 matches, right? And I lost the first one, won the second one. And the first one, I just played poorly and made mistakes too. So it was possibly still winnable. But showing the difference between those is kind of why. But I was okay doing that because the Boros Winota deck was really an update and not a new deck. So best of 3 makes a little more sense to show in that scenario. You're curious to hear what's been your favorite standard deck post bans. You've been playing a lot of fun, not ridiculously overpowered decks recently. I don't have a favorite right now, to be honest. I think the Gruul decks are still good. I like the mono green food deck a lot. I like the Abzan deck was pretty fun. I mean, I'm enjoying some of the choices with the Boros deck, honestly, the Winota deck. Though I still think Boros Warriors might still be a little bit better. Man, I don't even know. The ramp deck was cool. I think after the changes, I like a little bit more. But, man, it's difficult. It's difficult to pick one right now. I don't know. That's very difficult. KY Yelly, how's it going, Ellie? Welcome. Yeah, so it's a little tough to pick a favorite deck right now. So let me wait about 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the box opening started here, because that's what I put in the title, and that's what everybody came for. I don't want to keep people from getting to see what they came to see, because then I would just be a liar and a clickbaiter, and I don't want to be that person. You know. Some people do that to you on YouTube. I try my best not to. That's also why my titles are pretty boring on my videos. Like, occasionally, if I'm making a video for a specific thing, like I put up like, hey, here's some options for like how to beat Omnath or whatever, right? Like that's specifically what the video is. Or it's like, hey, this deck went 5-0 or whatever, you know, come see the deck. In those cases, I don't have a problem doing it, but I'm going to deliver and show you exactly what I say in the title, right? Otherwise, you're probably not going to see me use a lot of over-the-top titles. It's not really my thing. Do you think Kinrys is worth looking at in a Selesnya counters deck, or a bit too cute? I don't think it's really necessary. I think the high cost is probably going to cripple you more than anything else. And I think those decks have enough ways to already go over the top. I don't think Kinrith does anything for you other than just being another body, but it's also on the ground. So I think if you're playing the Selesnya decks, your biggest thing should be either trying a way to fly over the top, whether that's with like Sky Maul or something, or if you want to trample, you know, to just make your creatures big enough that you can just run over your opponent. But the problem the Selesnya counters deck has isn't really bigger creatures, it's just being able to get through, right? If your opponent's just gumming up the ground with 1/1s and 2/2s, they're just buying all the time in the world till they can get to their Shatter the Sky or whatever it is, right? And that's what you're trying to play around. So I would worry more about putting something in the deck that helps you punch through that final damage, whatever it might be. I don't know what the best choice is. I mean, maybe if you're playing stuff that gives all your creatures trample, maybe ram throughs work or something like, I don't know. But I'm sure there's other options. Like I said, the Sky Maul might be a thing. But I would just think about that, because I think that's going to be your biggest weakness more than anything else. It's not having more creatures or bigger creatures. I think the Selesnya deck does that very well. I mean, I think that's one thing they don't have trouble with, growing their creatures. But it's being able to finish once you have those big creatures. Speaking of, was anybody interested in seeing me play the Clerics deck again? Because I was just thinking about that today, of like what deck I want to put up tomorrow. And I was kind of considering coming back to the Clerics list. I've had some people show up on my stream telling me they've been doing well with it on ladders, so maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I mean, it's weird because we spent like 2 weeks building decks and playing stuff with Omnath in mind, but now Omnath's gone, so now I'm having to think about all the stuff I just did. Do I want to come back and revisit it, update them, do something different? Like, I don't really know. There's a lot of options right now in current standard. Okay, looks like we have about 22 people in here now, so that's a good number. We'll go ahead and get that started. Also, I want to say thank you everybody for coming by, because this is the first time I've streamed on YouTube in a while. I did some test ones in the very beginning when I started YouTubing back in February, but this is the first time I've done one in a while, and I kind of want to start doing these regularly so everybody gets a chance to kind of see me over in YouTube in a live stream. So we're going to try that probably here in the future. But yeah, Standard is wide open. Standard's very cool. And also, I want to say, for those of you that are just showing up, be aware that there's about a 20-second delay. So if you leave a comment, I'm going to try to respond and keep up with everybody. But I'm not ignoring you. If it slips by, it's just... Normally on Twitch, I stream with about a 6-second delay, it seems like, 5 to 6 seconds. Here, for some reason, between my streaming service and the YouTube setup, it seems to be about 20 seconds. I don't know why. But it is what it is. Technology is going to do its thing. Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody seems like they're on board with Clerics, so we're going to go ahead and try that then. Maybe I'll see what I can do with Clerics later. All right, so I'm switching cameras on you here, so you can see I'm now going to be down in the lower section here. But let me get this box open. I have some scissors here somewhere. There we go. I should have done this first, but maybe, I don't know, how many of y'all just like watching stuff get open? I know there's whole YouTube channels just to breaking the seals on things and people doing their whole ASMR, whatever. By the way, the whole ASMR thing I find so very fascinating. Like, I considered even doing it because I have a cat that loves to be brushed and combed, right? He'll sit there for like 30 minutes and let me comb him. And I thought, how cool would it be to put the mic right up against him so you can just hear the comb going through his hair and hear him purring? And I was thinking, man, that would probably be a sweet ASMR video, right? I think people would like that. So I might still do it someday, but it was just like a neat idea that I found interesting that I never followed up on. All right, let's crack into this thing here. This is a weird... Okay, so one thing I want to tell y'all that I did fight against when I was at Wizards, and I still, to this day, think it's terrible. These square boxes. I think square boxes are bad. I don't think there's any purpose to these. They don't fit well on anybody's shelf at retail stores. People who have been saving magic boxes for years have to make new storage situations to accommodate these square boxes. And generally, they only do them for stuff like this and for like Masters products and stuff like that, right? And you end up, like, if you can see here, which you'll see when you open it, but there's this like weird cardboard thing you have to put inside that makes it just wasteful, right? So I was trying to explain to him, like, just put it in the regular 36 count, but not this, because this didn't exist at the time, obviously. But for the Masters product, just like put them in the regular 36 count booster box, because a bunch of them come with 36 boosters now anyway. But even if they didn't, you know, just put a filler in there so you still have square boxes. And then you can still put 6 boxes per case, use the same boxes, and save cardboard, and we're all better off. But anyway, you know, it's one of the things. I think it's kind of the same thing when you're trying to produce stuff just as a creator, and you work with artists. You get artists who want to show off their skills, you know, and sometimes people need to justify their work. You know, and I think that applies to everything. Matter of fact, my overlays and stuff, how I have this cool frame around me and everything else, before I got that, I had worked with another artist, and she just kept coming back with things, and I'd be like, oh, that's very cool. Could you just change this? Literally this one small thing, and I'll take it. And then the next thing she presented to me was something completely different. And I was like, well, what happened to the other thing? You know, like, that was really good. Like, why did we not... You know, she's like, oh, okay, I get it now. And then I'd get a third thing that was nothing like the other two things, because she kept wanting to, like, dress it up and make it flashy. And I was like, I don't want it super flashy. Like, I'm streaming. Like, I don't want it to be overly distracting to people. So eventually I just went back to my friend Galen. By the way, let me check here on YouTube and see if his YouTube channel by the same name, because he is a fantastic artist. Let me see. I think he goes, oh, he does. I think it is actually the same thing. Yeah, so it's Art by Galen. Y'all should check that out. Like, he is super good. Friend of mine for years. He actually used to be an award-winning tattoo artist that I actually got into the game industry, which is pretty funny. But yeah, check out that YouTube channel. It is very cool. He has all kinds of stuff. If you ever catch him streaming on Twitch, his streams are beautiful. Like, he's helping. Matter of fact, I have to have a discussion with him after I get off stream here, because he's helping make some more notifications for me that I want to work in, which are going to be very cool. So totally excited about that. But all right, let's open this box here. Let's crack in it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to cut into this. I think just on the side is going to work. All right. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to do this on YouTube, because like I said, all my stuff streaming has been on Twitch for months and months and months. And I did a YouTube stream, I think it was back in February, and it was mostly just a test stream. And I kept thinking, like, I'm going to come back and do something, but I need the timing to be right. And I don't know, just figured I'd try it. So opening this up here, this is a weird opening. Let me zoom out a little bit so y'all get like a better scope of this whole box here and kind of understand what we're working with, I guess, a little bit. All right. Just to kind of show the box a little bit better, I think is what I want to do. Because this is what I'm saying. Like, the design's very weird. That we just have to have, like, extra stuff for no reason. Like, I'd rather just be the flat 36 and that'd be fine. These boxes come with an arena code. Haven't seen any YouTuber say. I do not believe so. This is just... There's an expedition that you get, so we'll open this last. But yeah, no arena codes. Those Zork... Like, okay, now here's the thing. Obviously, if you follow me on Twitch, I give away arena codes daily. Pretty much every stream I'm on, I give away some codes. And I did a thing for a little while. For those of you that have been following me for a bit, I used to hide codes in my videos, which I thought was neat, right? Because it was people who, like, if you were looking carefully, you could find the codes in my video. But the other part of that was I was also sort of testing, like, if I put codes throughout the video, do people watch more of the video? It turns out they really don't. So that was the thing that didn't really work anyway. But I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to distribute codes for people on YouTube. Because, like, on Twitch, I can literally just send you a direct message that has the code, right? You can say, hey, I would like X. And I'm like, great, I will give you X, right? And then you just check your messages and you have the code. Can't really do that here on YouTube. So my problem is, like, just using as an example, let's say Fabled Hero says they would like a code. And I'm like, great, I have a Zendikar pre-release code. Here you go. The problem is, if I put that in the chat, anybody can just copy it and steal it right then. And then that doesn't even get to go to Fabled Hero who asked for it. Right? So that's a little frustrating. So, and the biggest thing is, I'm more bothered by the fact that somebody, because right now we have like 24 people watching. I haven't had 24 people comment, obviously, right? So it's possible somebody who's just lurking could snipe the code. And that's kind of the issue. I've considered that. But here's the thing. I want to do it in a way, Forbizon, that encourages activity, right? So if people are live, I can reward you like just for participating, right? Or on Twitch, it's like, hey, if somebody's doing some fun stuff or they're asking, like, I can do that, but they're coming and participating. Otherwise, I have people who may just show up in the Discord just to get a code and then leave, right? I've already gotten to that point on Twitch. I had to make it to where my chat was follower only, so I at least got them to engage with the channel, so it wasn't just a hit and run. You know what I mean? Because the reality is, it actually cost me a lot of time and money to acquire codes, right? Actually, here, let me give you a quick example, because I've shown this on Twitch, and I promise I'm going to open these boosters, but give me one quick second. To put it in perspective, this stack is about 80% of the codes I gave away during the last season. Like this is a lot, right? This takes a lot of time and money for me to acquire these, to give these away. And I try to do it because some people only play online, so they never have a chance to get the codes. Some people right now, especially because of the pandemic, have never had or aren't getting the opportunity to go to their local game stores. And then we have some people that, you know, just want to engage with the channel, and I'm giving them a reason to come by, and it's a positive experience, right? I also have these that are still to go out this season, not counting what is probably, we've already given away probably about 150, 200 codes through the Twitch stream. And I probably have another 100 that are typed up that aren't in here. So like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't like just giving them out to randoms who don't participate or aren't giving anything back. That's what makes it difficult. I mean, as much as I would like to monetize it, make money, you know, whatever, obviously, to, you know, help allow me to keep doing it, it's more than just that, you know. So I don't want to come off like super greedy, but it's a lot of work to keep up with this and like dealing with the mailings and shipping and all that stuff to like get my hands on all this. Matter of fact, I have another bundle of like 200, I think, that's coming in tomorrow with a big site I work with to get those, and that was a thing. Codes are nice, but I'm sure we all agree it's about the content with you. Yeah, thanks so much, Jakob. I try. So yeah, it's just one of those things I deal with. So I'm trying to figure out the best way for everybody. I mean, if somebody came through and like, I recognize your name from my YouTube comments and you've been coming around for a while and you've not had an opportunity to get a code, if you hit up my Discord, I'd give you one. You know, I think if people just showed up that I've never seen comment on my YouTube stuff and just sent me a message like, hey, can I have a code? I'd probably say, yeah, probably not. You know, you got to participate a little bit. Because some of y'all, I've seen y'all comment 3 or 4 times, 5 times over the course of a month or two on different videos. So like, I recognize your name and like, that's cool. And I'm totally good with rewarding people. You know, I have no problem with that at all. So yeah, maybe do that. Hit me up on Discord if you hadn't had a chance to get a code. Just send me a message. Tell me you were on the live stream and you haven't had a chance to get an arena code from me, and I'll hook you up with something. I leave the description, the links in the description, so you can always get links to all that stuff. Also, self-plug, don't forget, I actually have merchandise as well, too. So, if you would like to get yourself some things, mugs, stickers, hoodies, t-shirts, you can get something for yourself and still support me. So yeah, it's one of those things that I'm just trying to do some different stuff and give you some different content and present it in a different way. You know, I think even when I started, well, we'll get into that afterwards. We'll talk about that. We'll do that in the wrap up. But for now, let's actually open some boosters. Let's see. Fritzmeister says, I honestly can't think of a way to ensure that people on YouTube that deserve the codes get the codes. Yeah, that's the problem. But like I said, at least here, I can tell you like, hey, I don't know, use password Zendikar Rising and send me a message on Discord. If you send me a thing that says Zendikar Rising saw your live stream, and I will know I can give you a code. There you go. So that makes it a lot simpler. So if you want to get a code and you're only watching here, hit up our Discord channel or server, send me a message and just say, Zendikar Rising, I saw your live stream. Can I have a code? And I will gladly do that for you. Just saw I'm streaming. Can really enjoy the content. Glad to see your channel booming. Thank you so much, Kurt. Okay, so let's start with these boosters here. I don't know if this is zoomed in or out enough. Let me zoom in just a little bit more so we can see the cards a little bit better as I open them. All right. All right, there we go. Let me recenter the camera just a little bit, though. There we go. Try to do a quality production for y'all. I have codes for different things. We can talk about it once we're in the Discord chat. But basically the way it works is I have community codes that can get you anything from a uncommon up to some number of gems. They are random. I don't know what they are. So that's a gamble, spin to win kind of thing, just a community code. Then there are single booster codes, which currently I have those for Ikoria, Theros, and Corset 21. If you just want a single booster pack code, and you can use up to 5 single booster pack codes per account, so per set. So if you get, say, 5 Ikoria ones and you get a 6th one, the 6th one's not going to do anything. So if you've already used 5, don't ask for a 6, it won't do anything. For pre-release codes, I have Zendikar and Corset currently. I have some others coming, but right now I have Zendikar and Corset. So Zendikar, I mean the Corset pre-release, and Zendikar, I guess pre-release codes in general, get you 6 booster packs. But again, you can only use 1 per set per account. So if you use a Zendikar one and you use a second Zendikar one, the second one does nothing. So just something to be aware of when you ask for a code. That's all. But again, like I said, just hit up the Discord server, send me a message, say Zendikar Rising, saw the live stream. Can I have a code, please? And I will try to get around to you hopefully by the end of tomorrow. Because like I said, I do have a pseudo business meeting after this. But all right, so people that don't know, they started putting these art cards in here. Let me move some things so y'all can still hear me pretty good while I do this. But these art cards started appearing in one of the Masters products, I believe. Oh, no, it was in Modern Horizons when they did these. And supposedly there are randomly inserted ones where the artists sign them in gold ink. So we'll get to see if we open any of those, which would be cool. What's my opinion on the best set booster? This is the... that's a weird question. So set boosters, this is the only thing that exists. If you're talking about which set to buy boosters of, that's a personal thing. You know, if you like a certain set mechanic and you want to build around that, then you're going to need to just buy more of that booster. Otherwise, I would just buy whatever helps you feel good. You know, I open boosters mostly just to get a selection of cards so I have stuff when I'm deck building. And then I can go ahead and just trade or sell what I'm not using. So it basically gives me trade fodder since I know people are going to want like the latest stuff most of the time. So that's usually how I feel about it. But yeah, the art cards are pretty sweet, so it's cool to have those in there. We do get full art lands, it looks like, in every pack. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the back so we can get to the uncommons. I think that's... because we get fewer commons in these, which is pretty sweet, because we don't want a lot of commons. Now, in set boosters... oh, what's my opinion on this product, the set booster? I think it's good. Personally, I have wanted something like this for a while, because if you think about it, the price of a booster pack hasn't increased in, gosh, I don't know, what is it, like 12 years or something? So $3.99's been a pretty good price for a booster, but we've also not changed a booster pack very much, right? So giving us the opportunity, like if they want to make more per booster, great. Charge us an extra $1 per booster, but take out all the junky commons we don't need. And now that you're inserting it with other mythics, rares, stuff like that, now we have an opportunity to get more stuff for that extra $1. I'm on board. You know, I'm totally good with it. All right, let's see what we got here. We got... boo, a Wayward Guide Beast. Oh, but we got a Yasharn, which I dig. Oh, and we got a foil rare. All right, that's cool. What is this? This is a thing that says booster mini game. It's a Magic minigame. It says Booster Sleuth. The objective, unlike Jace, not all of us can rely on telepathy to solve a mystery. Using other cards as clues, discover all the facts about your opponent's mystery card. Randomly determine who goes. Oh, so this is just like play guess who with your opponent with the booster. You can ask like converted mana cost, blah blah blah. All right, this is kind of silly. This is the part like. I get what they're trying to do, right? Make Magic more fun. If a casual person buys these and opens them, this is pretty cool. But I don't know. I just feel like there's something more we could be like. This to me is a waste of paper. Like we could save the whatever, like 0.5 cent to 1 cent per pack or whatever this costs to just eliminate this. Like I get what they're trying to do, and I don't hate the idea, but I feel like if we're gonna do it, let's do something more. Like let retailers or websites or something, and maybe not websites because that kind of is counterintuitive, but maybe like think about letting retailers buy space on here or content creators and show off their stuff that's supporting Magic or whatever, right? So then you're directing a new player, because this is who this, like a regular player is not going to care that much about this, but like a newer player could probably have fun with this. And if the goal is to engage the new players, then give them the opportunity to like find my channel or Legend VD or I don't know, Alias V's channel or whatever, right? Because they're not going to know those exist. That would be way cooler to have content creators be on this stuff and keep people engaged in Magic and find places to find deck lists and stuff. Or like that to me would be way more useful than this. But yeah, that's not a bad first pack though. Yasharn, I'm actually going to play with. We have Soul Shatter, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm on board with this so far. This is good. Or yeah, fan art would be cool too. For I like that idea too. Fan art sounds like it'd be great. I'd be on board with that. But you prefer regular ones because you can draft them better. The problem, the thing is, Lucius, the average player doesn't booster draft. They just don't. I can tell you from experience, having worked with retailers my whole life practically, having been at Wizards and seen the numbers, the average player just doesn't booster draft. They just don't. Like, I enjoy drafting, and I mentioned this before on the channel, right? Because people ask, why don't you do more limited content? And my thing is, I like drafting. I hate playing booster draft games because I'm playing with a bunch of cards I'm probably never going to use again. Though I understand that is the appeal of the format. And I've also played competitive money drafts and other stuff over the years. I mean, for a long time. So I totally understand draft culture, if you want to call it that. But I'd rather just have the cards at the end of the day, right? Just give me cards I'm going to play with. And that's better to me than having a bunch of like junky commons and uncommons. Because the other problem for me is that you end up having to produce bad commons or bad uncommons just to fill needs in draft, right? So if we could just have all set boosters, but just put the selection of cards in there in a way that people can draft with them and cut out the junky cards, then I'm great with it. But until then, just give me a set booster. I mean, seriously. Fan of Jace Mirror Mage. I wish I saw more Jace Mirror Mage being cast, and I'm not even a fan of Jace. All right, I'm gonna have to make some room here off camera so I can like stack these, because we have so many different cards. So I gotta make sure I have my art cards in a pile, then my lands in a pile, and then my comments can go over here because I don't care about those. All right. And then we're gonna skip through to here. Oh, I guess technically Ruin Crab's an uncommon. Not that I really am worried about it all that much. Arena should have set boosters. Maybe? The problem is the makeup of set boosters doesn't work for Arena, right? It has inserts and other stuff in there that don't exist in Arena and probably don't want to exist in Arena, so it wouldn't really work, unfortunately. Did I see the new secret layer today? No, I don't know. What was the new secret layer? All right, Spike-Filled Hazards, Blood Price, Spare Supplies, boo! Okay, now this I'm all about, y'all. These are the most beautiful cards I think they have made in Magic yet. Like, to me, this is the reason to have borderless cards. Like, this is awesome. Like, I love these. Strange they spend so much time optimizing sets for draft and not standard. I don't think it's that, Theo. I think they do. It's just, you do have to think about draft. I mean, and it's one of those things. Cosmetic rewards instead, just a thought. Yeah, maybe you could do that. But yeah, these I like. These I'm a big fan of. I love the artwork on these. Super exciting. Something with, oh, extra life. Yeah. Speaking of which, Cardsphere, my sponsor, is actually, they're one of the other Cardsphere supported players is actually trying to put together an extra life team. So I'll probably have some details about that in a couple days. Foils we'll put in a pile, and a coveted peacock. Not something I'm excited about, let me tell you. Not a card I ever wanted to see again. I assume most of the stuff I open in that selection aren't going to be cards I want. Yeah, I think the full arts are super exciting on those new lands. I love them so much. All right, so we just got a beast token. Oh, it's on the backside. I had it upside down. Oh, is that like... Oh, wow. That's like a throwback art to the original Zendikar, the one we call the Cup Island, where you can see like the island like dumping the water out. This is pretty cool. I hadn't really noticed that artwork on the other islands. That's pretty cool. Dig that. I'll put that in a pile. Got a foil land, so that's cool. All right, so far these packs have been pretty nice. I can't really complain. All right, hop over to these uncommons. Just want to see someone open a scroll rack. I can show you a scroll rack if it makes you feel better. I have one, but not one that I opened. All right, not so excited about that. Don't need that extra common. Don't need the extra common. All right, Adrana. Didn't really need Adrana, though, but not bad. And a foil. All right, and then just a token. Now, I will tell you what I do like in the set, the regular draft boosters. They had the blank inserts, so you can have stuff for your double face cards. And those I like so much, because if you want to make proxies or something for your draft, or not your draft, but for your like commander decks or your cubes, or you just want to test out cards before you buy them, like that's very cool. I'm a big fan of that. Ghost units, hello. I just saw your comment there with the smiley faces. Full art land really captures my imagination for the first time I saw it. Yeah, the floating island, the bowl one. Oh, this is a sweet piece of Jace art. This is the one that's on the Planeswalker. That's pretty cool. Man, these art cards are such a sweet thing. I'm glad they started. You know what I would like to see? And this is probably going to show how old I am. But years ago, you used to buy trading cards, whether it was like baseball cards or like Garbage Pail Kids or whatever. And they would have cards that if you put them in your binder, all 9 of them make one big card when you put them together. So they'd have like stats or different art on the front, but the back would be like, this would be like the corner piece of your 9-pocket binder. And you'd have to find like the other 1 through 8 or whatever to make the full picture. Like those would be pretty cool to have. I doubt anybody from Wizards watching, but if you are, consider doing that, because I think I pitched that while I was there. And people at least thought about it, but they didn't commit to it. Hey, Ophidian, how goes it? We are just opening up some set boosters and seeing if we get anything good. So far, not too bad. All right, let's... People really like this Ruin Crab. I'll set it aside with my pseudo rares, because, I mean, people do really like the Ruin Crab. Oh, there you go. X-Men trading cards, right? So you get it. Okay, cool. Pathways. I will take all the pathways in the world, because I think I'm going to need a lot of those. And a foil. And then, what is this mini game? This is Royal Royale. Open a pack and remove any cards without a magic card back. Then place all the cards face down. Randomize them, whoever went first. Players take turns revealing one card. Oh, so that's just like... Yeah, we used to just play mini Magic like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's weird. So they're just giving fancy names to stuff that already exists now. That's kind of weird. But, okay. The empty token card for modals, actually for something. You remember there was a cereal brand that did that, but you had to buy a whole bunch of Fruit Loops or something. I don't remember that, but I believe that was probably a thing at some point. The pack layout's nice. I like them so. Yeah, me too. Oh, you just ordered Winota Warriors. Sweet. I hope it works out for you. I like the Warrior deck. Okay. Not as big a fan of this art, mostly because like the background is almost the same color as the main character, so it gets lost a little bit. But it's a cool piece though. I just think it's neat they're inserting them. All right, so we'll put that land aside. Let's cut to the uncommons. Let's see what we got. Ravager's Mace, Thwart the Grave, McKindy Ox, which I didn't need. Throne of McKindy. That's sad that this card's not ever going to do much, probably. Magmatic Channeler I'll take, though. That's actually a good card I can use. Booster Blitz. What game did we rename for this one? Each player opens a pack and makes 4 face-down piles. And 3 cards each using blah, blah, blah. Players start at 5 life. Yeah, they're just renaming Magic games we already played. That's funny. I don't think I have Super Chats set up yet, unfortunately. Though if you do want to leave a tip, you can use Streamlabs. I have a link down below in the description, and you should be able to just click that. Though I do appreciate the support. I will have Super Chats set up in the future. This is the first YouTube stream I've done in 9 months, I think. It was like February when I did it last time. So, and I mostly just was sampling, but I'm going to try to make these more of a regular thing, whether that's playing Magic on here or coming and just showing different stuff. Because I even have some cool, just older things and some rare things that would be fun just to show off in a live stream so people can just learn about Magic history, but also just learn about me, which I think could be very cool. All right, that's just a token. Oh, that's cool. All blown up. That's a sweet looking piece of art there, honestly. That I dig. All right, let's get the lands out. Let's go to the uncommons. Cinderclasm probably still has a home somewhere. Calling the Ambush, not bad. Nope, that sucked. All right, man, if we're just going to keep open pathways, I could do this all day. Like, that'd be great. If I just get to keep opening pathways, I'll be set. That'd be awesome. What kind of deck would I bring to my first Commander game? I don't think there's a good answer for that. I think it's just whatever you find fun. I think, because here's the thing. I don't play Commander competitively. I know some people do. I just personally think the idea of playing Commander competitively is against the spirit of Commander. But that's a personal opinion, right? But I do say more often than not, and this is totally my personal experience, but the people I have encountered that want to play competitive Commander tend to be people that are trying to be like a big fish in a small pond, and we're bad at 60 card Magic competitively. So I'm not usually looking to play Magic with those types of players. So otherwise, just bring something fun. Find a commander that's interesting, card mechanics, style you like, whatever, and just build around it. I've seen so many weird commander decks, so build whatever. I mean, I only even carry one commander deck. I update it, you know, with new cards and stuff, but literally just the one, and that's good enough for me. So I just bring that all the time. Didn't know the copy token was just Jace. Yeah, because Jace is the only one that makes a copy in this set. Oh, this is the soul thing that I just opened earlier. Soul Shatter. All right. Move that land over, though that's a cool piece of art. Let's cut out these commons. All right. Let's see what we got. Come on. Coveted prize. Boo. Well, we were inevitably going to hit a pack that sucked. A card from the list that happens to just be Grizzly Fate. Not exciting at all. Speaking of, I need to go pull out that other one that I forgot about. Because I wasn't excited about it. But it was technically from the list, so I should pull it out. But yeah, the reality of the list is a little strange to me. And people have asked me, like, why do I think Wizards did it? When somebody pulls out an Urza to 1v3 your casual power, yeah, for real. I would say my problem with the list is it feels like somebody at Wizards wanted to make a decision to include something extra to make the set boosters more exciting, to make them sell. which is weird because they don't need help selling. The fact that you can get more rares and boosters than you do in regular boosters and more foils and whatever is fine, right? Like, we don't need extra incentive there. People already wanted set boosters. Basically, you said, hey, we're going to give you fewer commons with a chance to get more rares and mythics. Of course we want set boosters. And then I think to offset the idea of, well, let's put something extra in there, they felt the need to like make the set so big so the value individually isn't so slanted towards set boosters. But it just feels very misguided. Like, it was just either don't include it at all or include it and just reduce the number of cards not a single player is ever going to play with. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of cards on that list that just don't do anything. So, yeah, why were they in there? I have no idea. But, you know, somebody thought it was worthwhile to put them on there. Can I name a cool Orzhov commander? Not off the top of my head, but I would recommend just go to Scryfall. SCRYFALL.com and just put in click white, click black under card type or type line, just put legendary and then just hit enter and see what comes up. You know, and that'll help you decide. You can just read all the black and white Orzhov cards. Because here's the thing. What's cool to me, like, here's the thing. Even if I knew of one off the top of my head, I probably wouldn't tell you one. Because you shouldn't be playing what I find to be cool in Commander. You should be playing something you find fun in Commander. And that's the bigger deal to me. So, like, you should go check them out. Figure out which one you like, fits your style, what cards you want to build around, or what cards you might already own that could fit one of those that you enjoy, and then make that decision. It shouldn't be predicated on what I like. All right, let's get this out of the way. Let's go to the uncommons. All right, that's cool. Blood Chief's Thirst. I think we're all going to need quite a few of these. Not excited about that. All right, after the mace. Boo, Nimble Trap Finder. Though, okay, I will say this, though, for this card. I think if you want to make a creative hedge on your bets, try to slowly pick up stuff that cares about party while they're cheap. Because there's a good chance that party is mediocre right now, but could be very big when the D&D set comes out next summer. Because the core set is going to be D&D themed, which there's no way they're not going to have party included in there. Plus, they've already mentioned it on some other things, that party is going to be a mechanic. So you can have a chance to pick up things right now that could be good in 9 months. And then those are going to be playable for a year after that still. So just a thought. Don't know if it's going to be a big thing, but if you can get enough of the cards cheap, you're going to have a very low investment just to try it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be doing it, but I'm not saying everybody should. But if you want to hedge your bets, that's one where it makes a little sense. You play Tabletop Pioneer with your brother and a friend, and your pet deck is Gitrog. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of love for the Gitrog online. Gitrog monster is fun for a lot of people. Is there a meta in Commander where it's common for people to use like the top 5 broken? Not really, Ghost Unit. That's really mostly down to who you play with. Like, because I can tell you, like, my local player pool, it's just all kinds of stuff. People just play whatever they find interesting, you know. And you also have some people who own literally like 30 Commander decks. They don't take anything apart. So those people are just going to bring whatever they want to that day off their shelf. So, and it's so casual that even if there was a thing, I mean, you're playing one game that's going to last like an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on your group. So, like, a meta wouldn't matter greatly. Plus, it's so easy to adjust. Like, if you play with the same 5 people and they only have 5 decks between them, then you just make adjustments and it just becomes an arms race, you know? Yeah, I know, Titan Smash. It's the first time I've been on YouTube in a while doing a live stream, so that's a thing. By the way, if you haven't checked them out, Titan Smash MTG also puts up good videos. If you're a fan of the Gruel content or whatever, he put some up over there as well. But yeah, give him a look. Good dude. All right, get rid of these commons. We don't want those. I mean, not really. I'm probably just going to give them away to somebody. The hardest thing right now is normally I buy collections and stuff off of people, and I have like, gosh, I don't know, probably like 6 or 8 5-row boxes full of cards right now that I would normally just give to some new kid or something at an F&M, but we're not doing F&Ms right now. So I literally just have cards piling up that for the first time, I'm probably just going to have to outright throw them away. I normally just find somebody I can give them to, but it's tough. Pulls have been mostly okay so far, but they're not outstanding, just quality. Oh, Verazal, boo. That's not a good one. The last 2 were not good, I can tell you that. Oh, that's a token. I'll put that over there. And we're going to save the expedition for last. All right. Oh, no. Got to be careful. Don't want to damage cards. You know what's funny? I actually also can take... Oh, there's one with the foil art. Or the signature. Oh, and that's cool. And a foil land right behind it. That is cool. Steve Belladin. That is neat. All right. That's pretty cool. I didn't know if I was going to open one. That's kind of neat. Well, so that's a start. Let's see what else we got back here. By the way, y'all, don't sleep on this little Florahedron. This card, I'm starting to put it in a few more deck lists. It seems a little weird because it's like a 1/1 that makes mana, or it could be a land that makes mana, but like, it's important. It is a good card in a lot of decks. That little difference is subtle but important. Luminarch Aspirant. We do like these. I will take many, many Aspirants, let me tell you. Oh, and just a random thing here. Do you know what's funny? And the reason I'm flipping back and forth is because I just realized I didn't have to put the American age rating on these, because they normally had to put them back to back. So a lot of times when you would get cards that would have, or inserts that would have the same information on both sides, but they would have the different information here, that was actually a legal issue. Because, and this is kind of like a peek behind the curtain, but because Europe and the US have different age ratings and, you know, rules for their product, you have to have so many of these per however many boosters. I don't remember the exact numbers. So they had to put so many of these in every box to guarantee, like, in theory, a person would buy enough packs that they would know, oh, hey, these are for like age 12 or 13 or whatever it is, right? Dumb, but hey, that's legalese. Yeah. But yeah, I know some people probably wondered, like, why'd you put a thing in here that's the same information on both sides? That's literally why. That's the only reason. So yeah, cool art cards though. I'm a big fan of those. Yeah, that's the type of content, by the way, that you get on my Twitch stream, which is why I kind of want to start doing some over on YouTube, because so many people don't get to hear any of these stories or learn any of this like extra stuff. It's literally just a thing for my Twitch people that I just share live, because it's kind of just like as it comes up, top of mind sort of stuff. Hey, Anissa. All right, that's cool. And a foil to go with that I don't really need, but that's okay. So yeah, what have y'all been playing that you really like in Standard right now? Because it feels like we can play damn near everything. Oh, that's a Thundering Rebuke. That's pretty cool. We can play just about everything, it feels like, legitly. And I know people say that, but like this is the first time I feel like in Standard, it feels like, seriously, if you can figure out the right build, like everything has a shot right now. And I don't think I felt that way about Standard in a long time. So it's pretty exciting. Myriad Construct. Oh, and a Borderless Nahiri. That is cool. That is super awesome. And I think I needed a second Nahiri too. So this is pretty cool to open this one in particular. I'm digging it. And then a foil of a thing I don't want. Call to Mythic. That's awesome. That's funny. All right. Let's see. Some of the lands arts look good, some don't. It just kind of depends on the layout. Oh, I put that in the wrong pile. Still put it in the wrong pile. Man, have you ever had those days where your hands don't work in the speed your brain's working? Like you try to delete some words and you go to retype it, but then your fingers still mistype it, even though you know how to spell it. So you delete again and then you type it again. And then eventually you're just like, F it, I'll just right click and use the autocorrect thing. Like you just give up because your fingers don't work for some reason. Oh yeah, the Naya Winota is pretty good. I do like that. I did have fun with that. We've got Scoot Swarm. So funny. Only one, the list card so far. No, we had two. We had two. Neither was good, but we had two. The thing that's so funny about stuff like the list is, like I said, it's just not necessary. It's really not, you know, but if they were going to do it, I wish they would just made it better. Now, y'all, I'm going to say this because y'all haven't heard my little rant this. I've told people this on Twitch. But Scoot Swarm, it's an okay card. It is not good. I mean, a lot of decks that could be playing Scoot Swarm are not playing Scoot Swarm, and there's a reason. I always tell people, if you look at the best players, especially the brewers that like to come up with new stuff or whatever, and they don't like playing with Scoot Swarm, that's your sign that Scoot Swarm is not a good card. Because if you think about this, like this has brewer written all over it, right? It's cool mechanically. If you're searching for lands, you can do some neat stuff. You can make copies of it. You can protect your board by going wide, making more tokens. Still not the card people want to play with right now. It's just not. And I know people have said, oh, Scoot Swarm needs to be banned. But no, you don't really need to ban Scoot Swarm. There's no reason. Literally, no reason to ban Scoot Swarm. It's not that good. It's just not. Like, it's fine. Nothing wrong with playing it. It's a fun card. But it's just not that good. Now, I will say this. I do expect, and I've been saying this for about a month now, that they're going to limit the number of copies you can have of any card on your side of the board. I think we will realistically see the number set to maybe 30. So you won't be able to make more than 30 of any token or card or whatever. And the reason I say that is that we know that mobile's coming soon, and a card like Scoot Swarm would just crash mobile, right? It's just going to kill your phones. So setting it to a cap that says, like, okay, it's not going to make more than 30, then I think that just solves the problem. So that's what I expect to see coming, but we'll see. I don't know. Have I seen any good decks with Fiend Artisan lately? Honestly, just green-black decks just want to splash Fiend Artisan. It's a fine card. Anything that already can play it, feel free to play it if you have enough creatures. I mean, it's just a personal choice usually, but the card is fine to include. I know a lot of people who don't buy boosters normally that would have chanced it if the list was slightly better. The key thing is, Neppy, though, they just don't need to. Like, literally, set boosters have sold out completely at retailers, and they're just getting more in right now. And a bunch of those are already sold with people. So list or no list, they're going to sell the same way. They just didn't need to include them. That was my thing. Like, they just weren't necessary. But if we were going to do it, just make them better. Rogues and Landfall Mutate. Yep, both those decks are decent. My phone would literally explode. Yeah, probably. I could see that. And Historic, it's great with Stitcher Supplier. That's possible. Oh, this is Moraug. Now, I will say I let y'all down and have not built a good Moraug deck, but I'm not sure one exists. But I did give it the thought, at least. You were on my mind as I tried and considered what decks to put together. All right, let's see what we got here. Another pathway. All right. Well, we've opened a lot of pathways today. Oh, and an aspirant. That's cool. So that was a good pack. Love that. All right, let's open up the rest of these. I'll try to speed this up so we can get to some post-opening discussion for people who don't get to see me normally on stream and want to keep asking questions. Into the Royal to Shatter Skull Charger. I don't know how I feel about this card. I have it in a couple of lists in the sideboard, and I kind of want to mess around with it. It might be a little better now that people are starting to play like board sweepers and other things. So like the turns you want to play a creature, but not leave it susceptible to removal. It's actually kind of cool. So like say you already have 2 or 3 creatures out, and then you're like, well, I kind of want to play a 4th creature, but if I think they're going to shatter this guy next turn, I maybe don't. You can play this, attack with everything. It goes back to your hand. Then after they shatter, you could hit them with this the next turn. Or maybe even after they like Ugin and have to like -4 or 5 the Ugin, there's a chance you could get in and hit it. So I don't know. It's neat. Lotus Bloom. Hey, there's a real card. Weird, but hey, there's a list card that's not completely terrible. So there we go. It wasn't completely awful for us. Also, another thing that people seem to not know that I keep running into, if you get Magic cards that have weird misprints, like really weird ones, not just like small things, but like, you know, smudged art or ink across the art, or like awkward striping or something, look around, because there's people who pay a lot for those. They'll pay sometimes up to 10 times what the card's actually worth normally, because it's a rare oddity and people collect those things. So just a little tip for those of you that may not have known that. I'm surprised how many people don't, but hey, there's a lot of new people to the Magic community that don't know that. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, cool. I need another Leyline Tyrant. Not mad about that. And Ornery Foos. I can use that too. That's awesome. Man, that was fantastic. I also appreciate this, like a good tip on the back for blocking. I think that's awesome. Also, blocking doesn't cause creatures to tap. I'm glad people can play an arena and see that now. Because I get the logic, right? If a creature's tapped, it can't attack or block. So people assume like, oh, I block, so I have to tap it. But, you know, that's the thing. At least it's a Lotus. That's fair. It is a Lotus of sorts. Or like misprinted hollows from some game day promos. Yeah. Those could be popular too. All right. Land, and then let's see what we got here. I do like that we open the pack and might get to see like a foil artist signature. So that's kind of a cool thing to have options of. Boo to Relic Robber. Boo. Boo. I don't know where Relic Robber's home is. I feel like there's probably some weird commander interaction that's probably really good with it. Like maybe where I need something for my opponent to have creatures, and then when my opponent's creature dies, a thing happens. Oh, that's kind of creepy looking at full size. That's kind of cool. But yeah, other than that, I don't know where I would ever play that card. All right, let's see where we're at here. Acquisitions Expert, I actually like that card. Null Priest, all right, that's cool. That's a card I'll play with. Though, thinking about it, there's actually quite a lot of cards in Zendikar I will probably use for various decks. Like, the set's actually very good. And to me, that's kind of the biggest reason the bans needed to happen, is that it opened up, like we jokingly said, like banning those cards basically unlocks the rest of the set. You know, so now we're getting to use all these other sweet cards that are pretty awesome. Robber and Rakdos Charm. Kinda? That seems very narrow. I want something better. Ooh, Amaria's Call. Ooh, and a foil crab. People will want a foil crab. That's awesome. I am on board with that. Ooh. All right, let's see what else we got. Another foil land. So we got like 3 or 4 of those already. Skip on through here. It's a Hagrimauling. Ooh, a foil aura. That's pretty cool. I don't hate that. That's pretty neat. Yep. And I can definitely use that. Because I think I actually want to try to build the, or at least some version of the Cleric deck in paper at some point. I definitely want to try that. Also, random fact, I've actually opened so many boosters, especially when I was working with like Card Kingdom. I had a whole team that opened them. And man, you'd be surprised how efficient you can get. And the best methods for sorting cards and everything else. Like I know way too much about booster pack opening. Is it a sign you need to do the clerics list again? Yeah, probably. But I'm all about it. Like I said, it's already been on mine. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition. Definitely needed that. And we got an Angrath, who was randomly on the list for some reason, even though we just got done with War of the Spark. That doesn't even make sense. That was the other weird thing. Like, why recent cards were on the list, I have no idea. The only way the list makes sense the way it is if there's some reason, tie-in, or something for a lot of these cards to, like, upcoming Commander decks or some such, or maybe cards in, like, Commander Legends. You know what I mean? Like, that could almost make sense to me. If we're like, okay, we're going to seed this with a bunch of stuff that other stuff coming out can use, then, like, maybe. But otherwise, yeah, it seems like a lot of wasted effort. We killed a lot of trees that nobody cares about. All right. Akiri. Cool card if you get it to work. He's one of the reasons I do like the warrior version of Vinoda quite a bit, because getting the extra cards from this can be beneficial. Oh, and a Nahiri right behind it. That's hot. So we got 2 Nahiris in this box. One was the borderless one. Then we got a foil, and then we got a Shambling Shell. All right. Shambling Shell, not good. I think the best thing we're going to open is that Lotus Bloom. Wouldn't expect any more to get open that are going to be better than that, honestly. But you never know. We still have about, what's that, 8 packs left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Relic Axe, which I definitely will be needing. Master of the Winds, not awesome. But, you know, it's nice to have a Sphinx that's not just overly dominant sometimes. Kind of get tired of the Sphinxes. I do feel good that 4/4 Sphinx, though, finally got played at the end of last season, because that card felt too good to not be played. The cards from the list, awesome in themselves? I disagree, but hey, that's why we all get to have opinions, right? Another foil signature. Who is that? Noah Bradley. Yep, that's going to excite some people, let me tell you. I will set that over there. Man, the stuff that went down with that whole situation was something. Yeah, it's the only thing I can say. That was something. Oh, man. All right. Well, there's a Cleric of Lifespawn. I'll probably need those. Another Skyclave Apparition. All right, that's cool. Definitely going to need that. Don't hate that. Getting 2 Skyclaves is pretty nice. Shamming Cell at least see some constructed play in Dredge. That's fair, but the problem is there was no short supply of Shambling Shells. I mean, believe me, when I go through collections, anybody who bought any amount of that Zendikar release, like, has plenty of those. I'm about to buy off Card Kingdom. Do you know of a discount code, or do you have a... I do not. Go forth and enjoy your purchases. I could see the foil signatures grabbing a little bit of money for people trying to make complete sets. Man, that Nissa art is sweet. I love that. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. There is... Oh, Korahel Channeler. Not awesome. And a Junkie Foil. Yep, that pack hurt. Can't complain, though. We've done pretty good. We opened a lot of pathways, some borderless ones, of 2 Nahiris with 1 being borderless. A couple of foil signature cards. Like, this is pretty good box. I'll do a count when I'm all done. Just so we can kind of see what the difference would be over buying, like, a regular booster box, potentially. Phylath. It's funny. We just had this in a video just yesterday. All right? That was pretty cool. That deck's actually fun and pretty legit, y'all. Like, that's actually like a real deck. I have to admit, like, it looks gimmicky when you see the list, but it's actually real. Like the new mountain cards. Cool. Ristic Studies does magic art reviews. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. Yeah, there's so much good magic content out there. You know, that's why I tell people, look around, find whatever you're interested in. There's probably somebody doing content for it in Magic, it feels like these days. That's why I tell people, support your content creators to encourage them to keep making more of what you like. I know when people talk about, you know, money being tight and whatever, I totally get it. But I tell people sometimes, like, if you're going to buy, oh, that's cool, foil Skyclave Shade. Oh, man, that is awesome. That is pretty cool. I was telling people, like, if you're gonna buy boosters, or, you know, just buy stuff to like upgrade a commander deck or whatever, in all seriousness, consider buying something from one of your content creators, or I don't know, going to Twitch and donating them $5 or something or whatever. Especially when you see them doing fun or new or different content, support that. And I mean that seriously. We talk a lot about we don't see enough of certain types of content. And I always tell people, because even on my channel, like if I get on to gripe about something, it's going to get 40% more views than my normal stuff does. If I put up my random positive like mental health and gaming videos, a lot of those are going to get 20% to 30% fewer views than what I would normally get, right? So if people are worried about their bottom dollar and their time and whatever, like they're not encouraged to do the positive content or do the more creative stuff because it doesn't necessarily get the views, unfortunately. So, you know, share those videos, do what you can to uplift people doing that type of stuff. Like I said, you know, donate to them, buy their merchandise, leave comments on those videos or those articles or whatever it is that they're doing to encourage more of the thing you want to see. Like, that's seriously so important. All right. Sorry I had to give my spiel there, but I think it's so important right now, especially. Another Yasharn. Okay, I'm not too upset about that, because I was going to need a couple of them, and that's my second one, I believe. So, no, actually, I think that's my third one. But it is actually playable, so I don't mind that. Oh, that looks cool blown up too. That is a cool piece of art too. That's pretty neat. All right, let's see what we got down here. Trying to like squeeze them off without like revealing them. Oh, boo. Undo inversion. Not a fan. I think we have enough board sweepers that we don't need to play that one. Though, if you're playing a slow control deck and you just want the option to have another one, it's not bad. Not bad. All right, this is our last one, and we know the last card's a real card, so that maybe could be something. All right, let's see how this ends up. Is it a big finish? I'm trying to like squeeze them off there. Cherix, not a big fan. Not a big fan. The foil's not any good. Just a territorial guy cat. Oh, and a trusty machete. Oh well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the list. Nothing insane. You know, the let me switch cameras here since we're done with the box. Let's do that. All right, so yeah, 5 cards from the list. If the last card is a deck master backing, it's always a card from the list. Yes. Very easy to tell. 100% agree with that accurate statement. Let me switch. I gotta get used to changing the commands here that I normally use for Twitch, because nothing works on YouTube. I have to have a whole different set of commands for YouTube, which is kind of funny. Hadn't really considered that, but hey, it's a thing. Here's what we get to do now. So now we're on the big flashier screen. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards from the list. The best thing was the Lotus Bloom. Not a surprise, though, because honestly, even the Lotus Bloom is better than what I expected to get. Foil-wise, the Skyclave Shade was probably one of the bigger ones. Foil Aura was cool. Ruined Crab. We did get 3 of the foil lands. 4, actually, no, we got more than that. I thought we only got, wow, we got like 6 of the foil lands. I guess there was just so many I wasn't paying attention. And a foil Soul Shatter. So we did get quite a few rares in Mythics in foil. So that was kind of neat. Like, that's always nice. Because you always wonder how many you're going to get. You know, if the changes the box totals at all. But it didn't seem to change it drastically. We haven't opened the expedition yet. We're going to get back to it. I didn't forget about it. I'm doing a check on other things first, because the expedition is going to be completely separate. Rare-wise, our count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, actually, no, I got to separate the mythics. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, so we got 30 rares, of which a couple of them were the full art lands or whatever, right? We got 3 foil rares. 4 foil rares, I think. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mythics, with one of them being the full art Nahiri. So that's actually a pretty good difference from a regular booster box, right? We got 30 plus rares. We got 5, 6 mythics. And then we still have 4 foil rares, right? That's significantly more than a regular booster box. Because you're talking 36 plus, and then your foil ones. 2 of the foil stamped art cards. Then plus, I guess, all of the art cards in general that you don't get in a regular booster box. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was worth more than a booster box to me, and I'm okay with that, you know. And I guess randomly I have a Lotus Bloom. I wasn't really counting that as being part of anything. All right, so now we open this. Let's see what this is. Got to be careful because it's just one card. You don't want to bend up your one card. We'll do it like this, and I will do the slow reveal so we see it together. I will show it to y'all first, so I don't even get to see it. It is... Oh, I have it upside down. What is that? Oh, it's a Flooded Strand. Cool. That's nice. Sweet. Oh, I have it set to look perfect way out here, so yeah. That is cool. Awesome. So that's a good pickup. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Never seen a trusty machete. There you go. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I can't complain about this box at all, y'all. I mean, this is sort of what I expected out of a set booster box, though, right? Normally, you're gonna get your 36 rares or mythics in total, and then you normally get 1 or 2 that are gonna be foil. But here we got 36 total rares and mythics, plus we got a handful of foil ones as well, and we got the expedition for opening the box, right? So I would say that's pretty cool. And then, the art cards with 2 of them having the foil stamping or whatever. So those are just bonus. So yeah, for the difference in price, a lot of places aren't charging significantly more than a regular booster box. So to me, that's worth it. I mean, I think on just a price per card, price per pack that you're generally going to pay at stores, to me, it's worth it to spend that money and just guarantee I'm getting more rares and mythics. Because I don't really need the extra commons or the uncommons, right? Having extra uncommons is nice, especially in this set, because there are some things you're going to play with, but I don't need them as badly. Like, you can pick a lot of those up for 25 cents to $1 if you really need them, right? So if I were to buy another box, I would probably go out and try to buy another set booster box. Because again, I'm going to get more commons and uncommon. I mean, fewer commons and uncommons than I would normally get, and I don't need those. But I'm always going to be able to use more rares and mythics, because that's what you're hunting for. And all the foils, right? Foils in every pack. It's like, there's some relevant stuff there too that we're not even talking about. So yeah, I would say go for it. I know some people are questioning the value because they're like, completely ignore the list. The list is irrelevant. Like anybody who tries to use that in the math to decide if the pack is better or not, it's kind of irrelevant. It really is. Like, just don't even worry about the cards on the list and what you're going to open. It doesn't mean much. If you open up something great there, it's just a bonus. But then you also are getting, you know, you still get this. You know, this is another, I don't know, probably like 25, 30 bucks. So that's cool. Yeah, and then just in general, I can't complain about this at all. I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, I have a lot of cards to sort, a lot of things to put on Cardsphere later to sell. That's the other cool part. But yeah, I think this was pretty cool. So I'm glad I did this. I've been thinking about doing something here on YouTube, and now I have the opportunity. So it's kind of nice. Let me blow up my camera because I don't want to use this frame if it's not going to really have usefulness. Because like I said, I have my stuff set up for Twitch, so I'm going to make some specific ones just for YouTube that I can have on here for y'all. So y'all get y'all's own thing. And again, like I told everybody when I was starting the stream, I do have a crap ton of codes I give away on Twitch regularly. And I know a lot of you can't watch me on Twitch. So I've been telling people, hey, if you haven't, hop over to our Discord. The link's down in the description below. And just come say hi. Come join us. And if you want a code or something, come on, somebody say, hey, saw your live stream. Just say Zendikar Rising, saw the live stream. Can I have a code, please? And I will try to take care of you in the next, I'm going to say 48 hours, but it'll probably be before then. But just want to try to take care of as many people as I can, as quick as I can. Just try to be responsive because I will be asking you the type of code you would want. So I want to make sure I send you something that you can use or something that you haven't already used before so the codes still work. Because there is a limit of the type of codes you can have per account. That is a big deal. So I want to make sure each of you are able to get something and it's something that you can use. I'm trying to do things that are fair and different. Kind of the same way I did some giveaways here on YouTube that I don't do on Twitch. You know, I just trying to offer something to each of my audiences because they're each different. They each bring something different to the table. People are looking for different things out of each of those. And I want to make sure that I'm being as fair as possible to each of my different communities if I can. See you later, Micah. Thank you for hanging out. My other question is this. What would y'all like to see on live streams on YouTube? Like, what would be fun for y'all to get to see? Like, do you want to see me just play Magic? Do you want to see just cool, rare Magic items that I have that we can talk about? Do you want, I don't know, deck help? like what things would be appealing for you to have here on YouTube? Because I'm curious, right? Maybe the YouTube audience wants something different than the Twitch audience wants. And if I could do something for y'all here on even a weekly basis on a live stream, that would be kind of fun. I would love to do that for y'all. Deck techs would be cool. Yeah, okay, that's a thing we could do. Just showing off new decks. Now, when you say deck techs, you mean like me just showing off something new and talking about why it's good or bad? Or do you mean like my normal videos? Like I'm just on playing a new thing live, right? Because I think there is a bit of a difference there. Do you want a playthrough video or do you want just a deck tech video where I'm actually like building a new thing or explaining like, hey, we saw this in the tournament this weekend. Let's talk about why this is good or bad. You know, like that type of stuff. Now, if you want deck help, generally the term we use for those is called deck doctoring. You know, so if people want to bring their deck list, share the link, and then we help them here on stream to make their deck better. Like that's a thing we could do too. I'd have to find a way to do it so it's fair, so I don't have everybody just shoving decks and then people not being selected would feel bad. I may have to like randomize it or something. I don't want to like money gate it and like, hey, you have to pay me $2. Like, I don't hate that idea, but I don't want people to feel like they can't get help if they don't have money. You know, like I want to avoid that if possible. As useful as it sounds, I'd love all three of those things. Hey, that's cool. Hey, maybe we could vary it up. Or maybe I set different days to do certain things. Oh, goodness. My throat got dry. Good news, I don't have the COVID. I tested on Monday, by the way. I think I breathed wrong and now I'm dying. Always love the intro of your vids. The explanations to get some insight around the build and how to play the deck. Okay. That's kind of the point. Is before I get into the decks, I try to at least say like why each card is in there. Why people need it. So you kind of understand the purpose. Even if those situations don't come up during the video, if you go to build something on your own afterwards, you understand. You know, because... Am I playing Arena? Not on stream today. I'll be doing that tonight on my normal Monday stream over on Twitch. 9 p.m. to midnight Pacific time tonight. But yeah, one thing I want to say is when you're watching people's content for deck videos, don't get caught up too much on if the deck's winning or losing. You know, you should be looking at the idea, the concept, the interactions. You know, like a matter of fact, today's video, I mean, technically, if you look at them from a match setting, I was 1-1. But, oh god. The first match, I could have got to a game 3, but I just played poorly and then blocked poorly. You know, but it's easy to look at that and go like, ah, well, you didn't even beat this deck. Well, even if I did play well and lost, that doesn't tell the whole story, right? Because you're only looking at a very small sample size. So keep that in mind. When you go to look at a deck, it should be, does this look fun? Do I want to play with it? And then start looking at, okay, what could I have done differently? Listen to the commentary I'm giving you. And when I say like, ooh, man, I made a mistake there. Oh, man, I'm stumbling my way through this, making mistake after mistake or whatever, right? And then you say like, well, despite me making a bunch of mistakes, maybe I still won and the deck's better than we thought. Or the games were really close, but I did make mistakes and I lost. So like, oh, well, maybe that match is winnable. You know what I mean? There's a lot of context that I think people ignore and they just look at the results on a video. But I could go 5-0 in a video, and then the next 5 I play could be losses. Or I go 3-3 in a video, and then the next 5 are straight wins. You know, there's so many factors that affect that. So whether it's my content or somebody else's, don't get hung up on that, right? You should, if anything, support your creators when they're making new, different, odd decks or playing with cards you don't normally see. So they're encouraged to keep doing that. Because the problem is, and I've looked at other people's content, like when they're making the Gruul decks or they're making mill decks or rogue decks or whatever, right? Those are going to get more views because that's what people are searching for. That's what people want to see. But if they're doing something different, you know, comment on those, share those videos, talk them up or whatever. Tell them how excited you are to see them. You know, always watch them when you see them pop up in your notifications. So that way they're encouraged to keep doing those fun and different things, because if not, they're just not going to do it. Let's see. Let's see. I always love the intro video. Okay, so am I going to play Arena? Yeah, I said I'm not playing Arena today. You're new to the channel. What format do you play? I normally just play Standard when I play. I occasionally will do some mentions of some other formats as they come up. You know, maybe some updates on some bannings or when there's a new product that affects other formats. But day-to-day content, I usually do Standard stuff. Though I know some people have asked, like, when am I going to do more limited content or whatever? I put up the poll, and it was surprisingly both on YouTube and on Twitter when I put it up, that it was about 60-40, plus or minus a couple of percentage points. But my thing was, I might actually do some draft videos where I draft, I build the decks, talk about the different builds we can make out of what we drafted or where mistakes were made, and that's going to be the video. Like, I have no interest in playing the draft games, but I enjoy drafting. You know, as silly as that sounds. But some people said they still might be cool with that, so we might include that and make that happen. Quincy, we may at some point in the future do some Magic Arena streams here on YouTube. I haven't really decided yet. It's one of those things that people seem interested in all types of content on these streams. So I got to figure out what is the best thing to provide to YouTube, because technically y'all get to see me play Magic in my YouTube videos every day. You know what I mean? Whereas the Twitch viewers only get to watch me do that for a couple hours a night, 3 times a week. But y'all get a video every single day on YouTube, of which usually at least 5 are going to be some type of gameplay video. So maybe I do some non-gameplay stuff on my live streams, and we do, like I said, deck techs to help people with decks. Maybe I show off some new things. I give you some Magic the Gathering history or gaming history. You know, maybe this is a different product than what I put over on Twitch. I'm not really sure yet. You have cool new deck list I found and tweaked. I'm excited to show you. It's pretty good. But the best part is it feels unique and fun. Well, that's always fun. Excited you're exploring the earlier time slot. Usually I watch you on Twitch VODs, but mostly catch them live. Would be expanded version of Magic Shorts. Expanded version of the Magic Shorts. That's an interesting idea. I think the problem is well, I don't know, maybe it's something we could try. Maybe it's something we can try. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily have the patience to sit through just content of just like, here's somebody trying to tell me how to play my decks or whatever. Or this is somebody trying to tell me what to play in the format, you know, that sort of thing. But I don't know, maybe that's valuable to people. I mean, I've had moderate success with the like 1-minute videos of just the quick tips of just, hey, here's some things you might want to know. And, you know, I'll probably do some later this week too, as I see the format starting to come up and people saying like, I keep running into this type of deck. How do I beat this type of deck? You know, maybe I do a 1-minute video on like, hey, here's 3 tips for beating, I don't know, whatever the deck is, and just give people that, you know, because I think it's easy for people to say, all right, you see the video and it's like, okay, I'm kind of interested in that content. It's 1 minute. Okay, I can watch 1 minute worth of video. And then, okay, I got something good and I can walk away from it. Versus me putting up a 10 or 15 minute video, or even in this case, like an hour and a half live stream to talk about that same topic, right? People aren't going to sit through all that and absorb it. So I have to figure out what works best just in this type of format. I think that's the issue. And one thing I try to remind people is every platform functions differently. Whether you're talking about Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, Twitch, you know, putting stuff on Twitter or whatever, like it all functions very differently. And each of the crowds is looking for different things. The way you promote them each is a little bit different. So I'm trying to figure out, like I said, what works best. And some of you are on multiple platforms, right? You know, like some of y'all said, y'all watch some of my stuff on Twitch and on YouTube. So I don't necessarily want it to be overly redundant content either, right? So maybe here, like I said, the live streams are more about deck techs, deck doctoring, maybe some other non-gameplay stuff, possibly, since y'all get the gameplay videos regularly anyway. And then the Twitch streams are mostly about gameplay and then just deck doctoring, and we just do that in our little 3-hour segment 3 times a week. And maybe that's the best thing. I don't know. But it's definitely going to be a learning experience. I'm just glad that I got this all figured out and everything works the way I expected it to. So that was good. I will have to do some work and get some cool new frames and features built just for YouTube so we can have some of that on camera. Because I want to flash it up, make it nice so you're not just watching the same type of thing. You get a special thing. Because I want people like y'all watching my videos are still supporting my channel and still supporting me, you know, and I don't want you to feel like, oh, you're just here just to get more views and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, that's part of the game. But at the same time, like, I want y'all to feel like you're walking away getting something from watching my content. You know, I tell every content creator, every person who's trying to run a business, whatever, I always tell them, like, first, understand your unique value proposition. And then secondly, understand what people are getting from interacting with you, right? And my deal is I literally tell people my goals are be informative, fun, chill. That's it. And I want everybody to walk away at the very least being entertained, but if not, at least maybe you learn something along the way, right? Today, we were doing a box opening, but maybe it's like, okay, how do I feel at the end of it on would I rather buy a set booster box versus a regular booster box? You know, and at least there's some value there. And it was fun to just open packs and see what we get, whatever, right? That's entertaining. But truthfully, thanks, Nathan. I think there's a lot of good Magic content out there, though. Like, I'm just trying to make my way and carve out my own little niche and have fun with y'all. So I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm the best, but I'm putting in a lot of effort to at least try to be one of the recognizable ones. Let's say that. But yeah, like, if I were to do this again, like I said, if I were to buy another box, do a box opening, it would definitely be with a set booster box. I just think the value is good enough. I ended up with so many fewer commons and uncommons I don't need. And there's fun other little collectible stuff, you know, like the art cards and stuff. So I'm definitely a big fan. I would not be surprised if some point in the future, set boosters become the predominant way people buy boosters, and draft boosters are just for stores to buy and keep for people who want to either do home drafts or they do like a weekly F&M draft or something. I could really see that because the value to me is so much better in a set booster box, and Wizards makes more money per box to sell those, right? So it just makes more sense. Like, Wizards makes more money, the players get more of what they like, and that just makes more sense to me. Thank you so much, Quincy. Like I said, it's another thing too, and I haven't really gotten to tell y'all this. This is something we talked about on Twitch not long ago. When I started doing content creation heavily, because like I did a podcast literally 15 years ago. I was part of the first Magic podcast. And I started doing it again in November last year, or October last year. And one of the things I did is I literally looked around and said, okay, let me look at all the Magic content I can find. And I'm not even exaggerating. I looked at probably 30 different people that are writing articles and the ways they write and whatever. I looked at probably, I think it might have been also, it was north of 20, probably as many as 30 YouTube channels to see how people are doing stuff, what they're talking about, the layouts, how people promote themselves. I talked to some non-Magic content creators on how they're doing, how they started, what they're seeing, not seeing. I read a bunch of articles on just like background, like the business side of like Twitch and YouTube. I mean, just so much stuff, right? I spent about a good month before I fired off doing content again to decide what I wanted to cover, how I wanted to cover it, what I wanted it to be. So funny, like the actual music I play in my video just started playing. So it's like, like very fitting for me to start talking about this. But the thing is that what I noticed is a lot of Magic content creators are not great at promoting themselves, don't tend to be great at business. However, I don't blame them for that. I think it's gamers in general, and a lot of entrepreneurs have that issue. But I can tell you one of the partnership deals I may be getting soon is strictly because I presented myself professionally. You know, when they reached out, I said, okay, well, here's all the stuff about me. Like, here's my background, here's my history, here's what I plan to do with my content, here's my numbers, here's my estimated reach. Like, I gave them everything, you know, and the first thing they said was like, wow, we normally don't get this much feedback back from people, right? And to me, it's like, well, if you're investing in me to support my stuff, you know, give me stuff for giveaways or financial help to help me pay bills or whatever, then like you should know what you're getting out of this, right? Like, this is who's going to see your product. Here's how I'm going to promote it. Here's my background. Here's, you know, my philosophy or whatever. And that negotiation went great. So there's a good chance I'm going to be announcing a really nice partnership agreement here soon, which is fantastic. But the other thing was presenting the content differently. So everything I do is very purposeful. You know, even when you scroll down to find the deck list in my description, I don't put it at the top. I put it about 3/4 of the way down for two reasons. The first is that it at least gets you to go past my other links, right? So you see my Twitch, my Discord, my merchandise, whatever, right? Before you get to that deck list link. The other is that what people don't know is on YouTube, if somebody clicks on your video and they don't stay, first they have to initiate the click. It can't just be an autoplay thing. But if they initiate a click and they watch at least 30 seconds of your video, then it counts as a view. If not, you don't get the view credit. So there's some people who put their deck list right in the top and it shows up above the break, you know, in their description, and people click on it, go to their thing, and that's it. They don't even get credit for a view. So I put it further down. So I'm at least increasing the amount of time that it may take you to find the link if you're just there for the deck list, and I get credit for the view, right? So even something that small is a big deal, you know? So I'm very particular about every single thing I do, you know, the way I choose my decks and the content, and I try to be timely about stuff. So like, you know, when there's bannings or whatever and how I'm going to speak about it, I put a lot of thought into that, you know, before I put videos up. Even the way I format my videos, and not to get political or racial or whatever, but like there's not a lot of black content creators in the majority of gaming, but definitely not a lot in the Magic space. So one of the things I decided was I'm going to try to open and close the majority of my videos with me being like this, full screen, so people get used to just having a conversation one-on-one, and we just normalize it, right? And it becomes part of just the regular thing. So I get to engage with each person on a personal level, speaking to you directly, you know, through the camera, but at least have that like personal one-on-one conversation as though we're sitting around a table at a game store or something. You know, and the middle is like, okay, cool, here's the deck list, here's the stuff, but like we're talking in depth about the video or how I got to decide to play it or where I got the deck list from, or, you know, my thoughts on it after having played it, you know, and that gives a different experience to the video. Other than just, you know, you pop the video in, you see me down in the lower left corner, upper right corner, you know, in a little square, and that's it. And you watch me play a deck and then it's over, right? You get a different experience coming and watching one of my videos. And that's what I wanted purposely from the beginning. You know, and even then, I still mess around with it. I upgrade it. You know, like I said, I added some cool frames at one point, so visually it looks a little bit different. Just trying some different things, and I'll keep experimenting. You know, even my intro, I looked around for a while to try to find something that would work to be different. So when somebody clicks on my video for the first time, I've had people comment on just the intro because they're just like, "Oh, dude, that was cool." You know, because it gets your attention, at least gets you to wonder like, okay, well, what's this dude about? Because people don't have intros like this in the Magic space. And then the first thing you see is me, full screen. So it's like, okay, boom, you have that, comes right to me. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Dragon Brood? And now I've got you engaged so we can have a real conversation. You know, and that helps, right? My view counts go up and people pay more attention. So it's like, I don't know. It's little stuff, but it adds up over time. You know, and that's what I tell people. You gotta keep experimenting, but pay attention to all that stuff and really try. So I'm hoping to get to a world, and I'll wrap up here in a little bit, but I'm trying to get to a point too where as I start approaching 10,000 subs, I want to help other people get their jump start that are trying to get into creating Magic content. So my goal would be to feature people on the channel. Like they do their first video, I talk about how I know them, how, you know, what I think about their content, blah, whatever. Show you like a maybe 15-minute clip of their video or something that they're working on, whatever. And then recommend like, hey, go check out this person's channel, right? So when somebody gets started, it's like, hey, maybe they can get their first 500 subs or whatever. And then they're halfway to being monetized as opposed to just starting from the bottom where nobody's ever going to see them, you know? And if I could help people through that route, that would be cool. So that's something else I want to try. So there's a lot of things there, you know, a lot of stuff I want to do still, a lot of ways I want to take the content in the channel, but I want to be very measured and particular about all of it, you know, and make sure it's valuable to everybody and that the viewers are getting something out of it, because that's it at the end of the day, right? If y'all aren't having fun with what you see, or you're not learning anything or not entertained, then like you're not going to come back. You know, I'm still genuinely amazed at some content I've seen out there where, you know, I watched one. Have you seen those like arcade games where you stick the coin in and the coin goes down and just like pushes everything? I think they just call them like a push game or whatever. And like, there's a dude who has a channel where he literally just does that. It's not even his face on the camera most of the time. It's just his voice and the camera's aimed at the box. And you just watch him play this push game. Well, he just talks about like random stuff or complains about the pushes not dropping the things he wants. And I'm like, there's no way I could do content like that. That's so crazy to me, you know, but somebody's watching it. So credit to him. You know, I'm not hating. It just amazes me that that's a thing people will watch. So it's also figuring out like, where's the line and then how much better can I be or how much better do I need to be, you know, to draw those extra views? Because there are a lot of good content creators in the Magic space. There are a ton. You know, And obviously, you know, there's some huge ones when you're talking about like game nights or Tolarian Community College or anything like that. You know, Loading Ready Runs, another big one. Like, probably not ever going to catch those people, right? But there's a lot of others. I think we could realistically get to 30, 40,000 subscribers in a couple years' time, and that'd be cool. I mean, we're on pace right now to possibly hit 10,000 by the end of this year, and maybe even 11 or 12 by the time we get to February. So if I could be over 10K in a year's time, like, that's going to be huge for me. You know, I have some other projects I'm working on. Like I said, some cool stuff I'm going to get to reveal to y'all soon. Hopefully a partnership agreement we're going to talk about. I have a merchandise video I still need to shoot and make to show off that. So that's a thing I'm working on. Just so many things. I can't talk about this one yet, but there is another content creator that I may actually be shooting a video with, which will be very cool. So working on that as well. Yeah, just a lot of things. And I just want to say thanks to y'all. You know, I don't get to talk to y'all on a personal level on YouTube a lot. I mean, you kind of get my daily stuff and you kind of just get the one-sided conversation, I guess. But really, truly, thank you. I mean, when I started YouTubing back in February heavily, I had no idea how many of y'all were just going to watch a random new guy want to come on and do videos the way I do them. Because like I said, I knew I was doing them completely differently than what the rest of the Magic community does as far as videos. Everything from my intro to my presentation to the music, like, it's different than what a lot of people do. And that could have been jarring. And y'all could have been like, that's a bit too much, right? You know what I mean? Like, it could have been like, maybe that's not what we should, you know, and maybe I need to scale it back, or maybe I'm trying to like change the norm too much or whatever. So the fact that y'all enjoy it and appreciate it and have, you know, watched so many of my videos and left so many comments, and some of y'all are regulars that have commented, I've learned some about your deck choices and things you're working on. And like, that's always cool to me to be able to engage with the audience, because even as a creator, when you don't get the feedback, you also don't know what that means, right? Like, I look at a video and go like, well, it's got 98% likes or whatever. That's kind of cool. Or like, this video had like 100% likes, but it's only got like 20% fewer views than I normally get. What does that mean? Was it timing? You know, whatever. So there's a lot of that stuff. So the feedback is also cool. Thank you so much, Asaviru. So is Winota unbanned? Winota was not ever banned in Standard, was it? I think it was only banned in Historic. But yeah, I don't think it was in Standard. And Winota's totally fine to play if you want to play it. I was just like thinking really hard, but like, yes, in Standard you can totally play with Winota. It has not been a thing. Because the real problem with Winota wasn't the card itself. It was that when you could go get stuff, like the thing that could steal lands, you know, it normally costs 7 mana. Like, that was crazy. You know, because you were able to get an attack in, still sometimes 2 or 3 lands, and then your opponent just couldn't do anything. And the game was effectively over because you got 2 or 3 extra creatures plus stole some land, did like 6 or 8 damage to your opponent. And it was like, yeah, that was really tough. Like, that was a bad situation. So now that those things don't exist, Winota is good but not overpowered. Truthfully, yeah, Agent was the problem. Now, my biggest thing right now is like Winota, like I said in today's videos, like, you can win games with the Winota decks not ever casting or resolving a Winota. Like, that's totally reasonable. Like, I've won many games where I'm just like playing the good Boros aggro deck, and then sometimes Winota shows up and you're like, okay, cool, now you get to drop the hammer. But yeah, sometimes you just never draw it, or you play it and it gets killed instantly, or it gets countered, and you're like, all right, that's fine. And then you just try to attack with your like Seasoned Hollow Blade with a Sky Maul and just keep hitting your opponent for 5, and that ends the game sometimes. So yeah, nothing wrong with Winota at all. I think it's a powerful card, it's a strong card, but it's not broken in any way. Like, it's totally balanced. A lot of the spot removal that's played right now still hits Winota. So, I mean, will she go off sometimes and get like 3 triggers? And like, yeah, that's fine. But that also means you didn't deal with any of your opponent's creatures before that. You didn't have an instant removal that killed Winota right then. You didn't have a counter spell to kill Winota. You were already low enough life that the extra damage, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that lead to Winota being reasonable or being good. Lithoform engine. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, that some people have tried like Song of Creation with Teferi's tutelage and Lithoform. Oh, no, I was thinking of the other thing. I was thinking of Nahiri's lithoforming. Lithoform engine, yes, totally different thing. I have some ideas that I want to try with the card, but none of them are good. But I think the card itself is probably good. I would recommend, if you play Commander, go ahead and picking one up, throwing it in your Commander deck, because it works in every Commander deck. I still think, and I said this on the previews when I first saw it, I think it's a card that from the set has potential to hold long-term value in the maybe even up to $40 range, if not more, because every Commander deck can use it. Now with Rogue Mill deck, this Winota deck, that great? Now with the Rogue Mill decks, is Winota that great? Maybe. I mean, because the thing is, here's the thing. Don't get caught up worrying about Winota. You're worrying about just the other cards, right? So if you're playing good aggressive early things, you're still playing your Bone Crusher Giants, you know, you've got your Maul the Skyclaves, you can make blockers or whatever, you can totally fight the Mill decks. Like, you can fight them on all the same axis that the Rogue decks are trying to fight on. You just get a bonus that if the right creatures live, and then you stick a Winota, you might get some finishers when you attack, right? So yeah, the Rogue decks are good, but they're not, I don't think they're overbearing. I think they are going to pose a difficulty for some decks, for sure, for specific decks sometimes. But I think you can work around that, depending on what you build, for sure. I mean, they struggle even dealing with all of the escape cards right now, which is a big deal. And if you're worried about that, I mean, there are some quality escape cards you can play in Winota. Like you go either way. You can play Elspeth if you want to, though that does make humans, but it does make 1/1s and pump your creatures. So that's a thing you can do. Or you could just play the Phoenix, right? That lets you block their flyers, especially after it comes back from the yard. It's a 3/3, so it definitely blocks the Soaring Thought Thieves, and that's fine. So yeah, and it triggers Winota because it's a non-human. So nothing wrong with that. I would give it a shot. But yeah, opportunities out there, y'all. Standard's fantastic. It's super awesome. I mean, this is the time right now where if you wanted to try new decks, wanted to try new builds, go for it. I mean, I think you're still going to see a lot of the brewers trying a lot of things right now. Yeah, we've been seeing Yorion decks get played for sure. Nothing wrong with that. I think those have been strong. Though, you know, they still struggle a little bit if you get the right aggressive draws or you get resilient creatures that don't necessarily die to a Shatter the Sky. That's a problem for them too. You know, so there's a little bit of everything out there right now. Like, we've still seen the mono red decks, seen some mono white decks. I'm gonna mess around probably with the Clerics deck tonight and tomorrow, so that's the thing y'all will probably see on the YouTube videos tomorrow. Yeah, there's still Gruul decks still getting played. Y'all have seen on the channel, you know, the Abzan list and the black-green list are still good. There's still a Teamer Adventures list that just doesn't play Clover. That has had some success last weekend. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. But that's what you want, right? Every color getting played, every deck type having options. Even within the same type of deck in the same colors, some people are choosing to play different cards. And that's a good thing. And now, I would say from a deck building standpoint, it's a little tough because you're like, how do I defend from all these things? And, you know, but I'd rather that than the other way, where we're all dealing with just one big powerful deck and playing against that 10 times a day when we get onto Arena, you know? Hoping to see Athreos and Shovel and an Absent. That's possible. Somebody will probably do it. You know, that's probably not too far from being a real thing. I could see that. Seems a little bit much. Might be a little bit overboard, but could be done, though. Could be done. Hoping Cleric is viable in Standard now. I had somebody come onto my stream the other night and say they either made Diamond or Mythic with it, so somebody's winning with it. I just haven't come back to it in a while. Yeah, so I'm enjoying all this. I think it's great. Want to see Mono Black rock the meta. What do you think of Mono Black? I put up a Mono Black deck just a couple days ago. So yeah, that's a thing you can check out. And honestly, I don't even think that's the only Mono Black deck you can play. I think you could go heavier on a Lurrus build. I think you can go with Mono Black. Yeah, you probably could. You could probably do Mono Black Devotion still. There's a lot of ways you could do that. Because you still have enough cards that have the double black or triple black mana symbols that could be a thing. And you get the option of playing extra discards. So that's a thing too, if you're worried about like the slower Yuri index. I mean, a couple of duresses and, you know, 3 or 4 duresses, 3 or 4 agonizing remorse could be very good there. So yeah, I think there's a lot of options, y'all. I think it's going to be a good couple of weeks till the metagame really settles down. And then truthfully, I think even after that, you're probably going to see a new King of the Hill every 10 to 14 days until we get to the next set, which is, I think, where we want to be. I think that's absolutely where we want to be. You know, where it's constantly changing and people are looking for different things. And to me, that's just good for everybody. That means even if your deck struggles right now, it might be better in 2 weeks, you know, because the metagame shifts. Or vice versa. You might be on top of the world right now, and then you're going to start struggling for like a week or two. And then maybe you'll be back like mid-level or whatever the next week. You know, it makes all those different cards you're opening worthwhile. You know, or out of these booster boxes, you know, the number of things we open become useful. More of the cards are worth something. So yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. I mean, this is the world you hope exists after a rotation. And so far, so good. So we're going to cross our fingers and hope it stays that way. But I think that is going to do it for me, everybody. Again, I'm really excited I got to do this. Hopefully, we're going to do some more afternoon streams on YouTube for everybody. I may or may not promote them like I did today. Just want to try some out and just see if the notifications matter for people or not, who subscribe, stuff like that. Just to kind of test the YouTube, I guess, specifics and algorithms and see if everything works right or not. But yeah, this was fun. Like I said, maybe I will promote it because I think one of the next ones I want to tell people to, you know, bring their deck list if you want help with stuff, and maybe we'll try to do that. But yeah, we're just going to try some different stuff over here on YouTube because, like I said, you already get deck videos regularly, so maybe we're going to try something else and see what works and try to turn that into a regular thing for y'all that the Twitch stream doesn't necessarily get all the time, you know, and just see how that works out. But either way, this was fun. It really was. I learned a little bit as far as setting up things for YouTube to the way I need them to be. And yeah, the camera setup worked. The box opening was fun. Got some sweet cards, so that was cool. Hopefully, I will see y'all again in the future. And yeah, I just want this to be something fun and different. I must say, the first time you see me live. Oh, well, that's cool. Well, yeah, like I said, hopefully it won't be the last time you get to see me live. Definitely want to do this again. And as usual, I want to say wherever you are watching from, whenever you are watching, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And, you know, for the safety of everybody, even if it's difficult or annoys you, please wear your mask. Please wash your hands. Please stay away from other humans so we can all get back to gaming and playing Magic the way we want to. Because it's really annoying to be stuck at home because we have to worry about this. So hopefully it's a thing we get past. But again, thank you, everybody. Let's do it again sometime. Enjoy playing Standard right now because this format is amazing. Just build what you can and enjoy it. And keep coming back and watching the YouTube videos. We will definitely keep it up. Keep pumping out the stuff. It's just too much fun right now not to. And if there's anything you want to see, let me know. Join our Discord. The description's down below in the descriptions. So hop into the Discord and let me know what you'd like to see on the YouTube channel. Or, you know, if there's any suggestions, please come by, say hello, let us know. There's a bunch of people. We have like 150, 200 people in the Discord. So yeah, definitely stop by, say hi. But that's it, y'all. Thank you for stopping by. This was a fun project. I didn't know if anybody was going to come watch, so it was cool to have y'all stop in. Thanks so very much.